How's it going, everyone? Thank you for joining Shop Talk Live. My name is Rick Ramirez. I'm also known as Rick's 2 Cents, along with my fellow co-host Steve from Steve Makes Everything.
Hi, all.
And Roger from Roger Shop.
And sometimes known as Random Man, but there I am. The joke comes from different things. I once in a while when somebody's having a problem, I will go live with them online here, and they're like, "How come you have all this random crap on your desk?" So one of my viewers actually made that and sent it and called me Random Man. So,
well, doesn't everybody have random things on their desk? 8mm precision rod, stepper motor, remote for my heat pump. I have a board here. Have you started doing any CNC work yet, Rick?
No, I got the screws, so I screwed it together, and then there's no real way to manage the cables, right? And I was scared to do the flattening with the way that everything was kind of like just draping. So I ordered this kit. I'll actually show you guys. I should get it, I think 2 days. It's already been shipped.
You mean the cables on the Z-axis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can get, the clear plastic wrap stuff, the spiral wrap. You can put some of that on there.
I just ordered the kit. Was on Etsy for $100. It like routes all the cables. It clips really nice. Like it was it was nice, super nice. So I'm like, you know what? Before I try to rig something and it just looks horrible, or I get upset because I rip a cord or bend something, then I'm waiting for the people who love us in Canada, to send us something. I just want to intentionally damage something.
Canada loves you guys.
Yeah.
We don't hold a grudge from anybody. So, yeah, this is why I put the bigger.
No, I get it. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Like it's
so
required.
like the drag chain I have, I think is 1.25 inches wide. So it's this big flat thing, and I have 2 water tubes running in it, plus all the wires.
I just don't get why it doesn't come that way. Like that's a no-brainer.
It is weird. It is because they know, especially they sell a liquid-cooled spindle. You think they would realize this, right?
Right. Like what? So yeah.
Anyway, what I wanted to show you is the ultimate project when you know you're good when you can do this kind of thing.
Cool.
So like I said, this was like rubber mallet to get this together. A little bit of glue in there was enough.
Can I see the side?
What's that?
The side profile. Turn it.
Like this side or this side?
That looks that other side. The other side. That looks good. So you can see the joint on the side. It's a tight.
Oh
fit.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That looks good.
It's like there is no air gap here.
That good.
I was just playing around one day. I had 2 scraps, a piece of cherry and a piece of walnut. This is actually, I pulled this out of my kitchen, so there's probably scratches and stuff on here, but it's just become a little portable cutting board.
No, I like it. It looks good.
Because the big cutting board I have in my kitchen is 28 inches long and 16 inches wide or something. Like it's a big piece of wood.
So do you have the remote control, like the Xbox controller remote?
I got the one from Masso.
Okay, so I did the same thing. Where it's an actual corded one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because pushing buttons on the screen to try and get anything precise is crazy. So I just got that out instead.
Yeah, I was playing with it and I was like, screw this, man. So I actually ordered the controller, and then I ordered a 4-button that goes on the side, so I could hit back, home, reverse, and it just automatically just goes there.
Yeah,
like just set 4 places. So I'm like,
those kinds of things don't bother me too much. Like going home, there's a home button on the screen. I can do that.
Right.
But when you want to go like a picometer to get a little closer or something, and then you hit the screen and it goes plunk and hammers into the plywood, into the material, right?
Yeah. So I would say hopefully by this weekend I get everything because it's already being shipped, and then I'll be able to at least flatten my first piece and then start doing something.
The hand controller comes from Masso directly in Australia, right? Hey, Chris.
Speaking of Chris, said good day from Perth, down under.
Speaking
of so I'm excited about that. So the other thing is on the what are they called, the spiral thing that they move back and forth on? What is that actually called?
Ball screw.
The ball screw. Do you have that attachment? It looks like a brush. So as the ball screw moves back and forth, it actually cleans it off and never allows anything to collect on it.
No.
How often do you clean that?
The ball screw? I don't find they get that dirty, actually.
No?
No.
Do you grease it or lube it or anything?
The precision rods, the big ones on top, especially the X-axis, they get goop on them.
The big rods on top, I kept looking at and like, where have I seen this for? What does this remind me of? And then I remembered my
printers.
Yes, I have a 54-inch plotter, and I'm like,
except they use these.
Yeah, I have a 54. Yeah, it's small on a smaller level scale, but the same concept, right? So I have a 54-inch plotter, and I'm like, oh. And in my 54-inch plotter, what I did is I took a microfiber towel and some 3-in-1, and every now and then I would just wipe it down with the 3-in-1.
Yeah, that's all I do.
Okay.
Speaking of random things on my desk, I have a tea light for no apparent reason. I don't know why it's here.
I thought of you today, Steve, and I was laughing so hard because
most people do that when they think of me.
No, we give each other a hard time sometimes, and one of the things you make fun of me is about my bird feeder, my birdhouse.
Oh yes, the wooden birdhouses.
Yeah. So my uncle calls me today, and he's like a master carpenter. The man can build anything, right? And he says, "Hey, guess what I've been selling a lot lately?" And I said, "What?" Birdhouses. And I'm like, I can't sell this birdhouse. I think I sold it for 35 or 45 bucks. It took like 8 or 9 months to sell. Some guy in Arkansas or something bought it. And he says he's selling him for 350 bucks.
Well, you see, you're not charging enough.
So you know what he said that my problem was? This is hilarious. He says, well, let me see it. So I showed it to him and I said, look, if you're a roofer, you'd understand that, what those are, right? You'd understand what this ridge line is. Like, there's certain details to the roof that's like true to a roof. I got to turn this camera off not to keep moving. But anyways, so he says, well, who are you trying to sell it to? And I said, well, what do you mean? He says, well, who are you trying to sell it to? And I said, I don't know, it's just on Facebook Marketplace. He says, you need to sell that to a German person. I said, German?
Yeah,
he said, yeah, the roof. Tile. He says, if you just put keywords in so that it's targeted to a German customer, you get over 200 bucks for that, no problem.
Yeah, one keyword you could use is tile roof.
Yeah, but I just put birdhouse. I didn't go crazy with some crazy descriptions.
Yeah, but it's all about the pricing, right? If you charge, I mean, what does it cost you to make one of those? About $5?
Yeah, if that.
So you sell it for 40 and people go, oh, you're on the high end. If you sell it for 55, people go, oh, you're expensive. If you sell it for 300, they go, you're an artist.
Is that so weird?
It is. But you like I said, if you sell something that cost you $5 to make for $10, then again, I'm gonna bash on Walmart. You're catering to that market, right? The high volume, low margin. And if you sell it for $300, then somebody's going to say, somebody who has lots of money will say, I'm going to put this birdhouse in my yard, and I know no one else is going to have one of these.
Yeah, and he says he's selling them. He's like, that's no problem. You just need to sell someone with German. And I'm like, what?
It's crazy. This is something that's really hard to understand about sales, right? Because most of us who are in some strata of the middle class will say, oh, it's all about price, right? I got to get the price down. But you don't. I mean, it has to look good, and it has to be built well for you to charge high dollar.
Right.
But if you put that extra effort in, then you're catering to an entirely different market, and those people generally don't care about the price. They want to make sure it's unique. It's terrifying that this happens, right? This is what's wrong with the world.
This is exactly what he told me. And I was like, what? He's like, I'd have no problem selling that for $300. No problem. It's just like,
see, but if he's selling them like that, and he's selling a lot of them, then he's built up a clientele, right? That's in that business where it's.
So my uncle's
just money to them, right? Yeah, just give me. It's all about the birdhouse. It's not about the money.
So he says that what he does, he goes to Michael's, he walks around, and he says whatever they sell, I can make it way better. And then he leaves and he makes something. And
Yep.
so
Yeah, and I've done that.
you know,
I've done that. Right. And
yeah.
and you know, and you know, and I actually embedded this in one of my videos, and people will say, well, I can buy that at Michael's for $5, and your immediate response is, well, you better get there quick, they close at 6, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's business sucks, man. Like it's just you gotta be a bit satanic to make tons of money in business, and it's like you feel dirty at the end of the day.
Yeah. So I said, okay, maybe I'll give it another shot. I'll post it online because I do have that one left. Let's see what happens. I'll raise the price, but and I'll be more descriptive on the roof because he said it's the roof is what people will pay for. Anyone can make that square box. Anyone can make that engraving. He's like, but a roofer would buy it because they know what it is, or someone who's German that has an old style roof because that's the old roofs.
Yeah, the old tile roofs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I say
like,
roof.
okay.
You say roof, but
yeah, but it's to the point we talk about this all the time. We say that there's a such thing as demographics. Something that would sell in your area wouldn't sell in mine, and fail when you fail, fall forward. But sometimes also, like your first attempt isn't the last attempt, right? If you would have given,
hopefully not.
So what I'm saying is, like, if it didn't sell this year, you could have 3 and put them out the following year, and all of a sudden they all sell out the first 5 minutes you post them, right? They could happen.
Yeah. I'd say make those things, like make it good for sure, but then list it for like 129 or something, like just and because you do have to create some separation between you and the masses, right? And it's just like I'll go back to coasters because I was just talking to Jim Hamilton. He's on the call here probably. We're talking about coasters, and if you want to sell $2 coasters, there's a billion people selling them. If you want to sell a $50 coaster, then there's a lot fewer people. Now you're going to sell fewer of them,
right?
But you'll sell them to a very different customer than you would for the $2 coasters.
Yeah, so there's definitely some lessons learned to be from this. So if you guys are listening, I always say learn from others' struggles, learn from others' trials and tribulations, so to speak. There's definitely definitely a business lesson, and there's a lot wrapped in that.
If you have a little business or a side hustle and you're a maker, you have to learn how to make things, but one of the things you have to learn how to make is money, right? And it doesn't work the way you think it works.
Yeah. And the fact, like you said, if I put it for $35, I could probably sell 1 a year. If I put it for $250, I might sell 4. How does that even make sense? But it's true. Good evening from Maine. That's Team Destruction.
Team Destruction, a good username.
Nice one.
Greetings from New Mexico. Didn't New Mexico have a bunch of floods last week?
Yeah, they did.
Hopefully Team Destruction isn't called that because of the floods.
Yeah. Radu. Hey, Chris, how's it going? David from Wisconsin. How's it going, Dave? You're Roger and I's backyard, so to speak.
Yeah.
Craig said hello from Illinois. Roger and I are in Illinois, so hello, neighbor.
Yeah, northern Illinois at that.
North, yeah. You're in south, right?
I'm in southwest.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep. Madre said happy stormy Wednesday here in Wisconsin. Yes, I think it's hitting us all, Madre. Happy hump day. That was going good.
Yeah, it was hot and sunny here today. It's too hot actually to go outside.
So I did a funny thing with our pool. This is funny. My wife says the water's too hard. She wants to buy all these added softeners. So I went in the house and I grabbed salt tablets from the water softener and I put it in in the catcher, right? That catches all the bugs. Yeah. And she was like, "Why are you doing that?" I was like, "If it softens the water in the house, why can't it soften the water in the pool?" She goes,
"Do you have a chlorine pool or
like chlorine?" I don't have chlorine. I have chlorine, not salt water.
You don't have salt water.
But I put the little
salt water is awesome.
I put the saltwater tablets that you put in the water softener, and guess what it did? Softened the water.
Yeah. Well, like when I had a pool, which I don't anymore because I have too much rock, but when I had a pool, it was a saltwater pool, and you go in there for a swim and your skin feels nice and soft when you get out.
Yeah, I've thought about it. Craig from what's NL?
Northern Illinois.
Oh, Northern Illinois. All right.
I was thinking that was Newfoundland, but
I can relate to this one here. Steve says, "Sorry I'm late. Had to make chimichangas tonight. I told everybody I would when I got around to it." That was the subject of my last video, and that has gone nuts business-wise. I made
chimichangas?
No, round tuits. Are you familiar with what that is from the bar scene? Okay, so you go into a bar and you got a beer sitting in front of you. Just say you just got a long neck. Somebody says, "I'll buy you a round." Well, you don't want another long neck sitting right there while you're drinking your other. I mean, it'll get warm. So the thing back, way back, and I'm back in the 70s when I tended bar. I'm dating myself here, but they had these little wooden coins and it said round to it. This is good for one drink. I hadn't seen those in years, but I got an idea at the bar that I help with now. I says, because they were using like little plastic shot glasses for a token for another round. I said, why don't you use round to it? And these young bartenders are like, the hell's that? And I explained it to them. So I made a couple of them and took it down there, and they're like, oh yeah, we got to have these.
So you made the wooden nickel.
Yeah, basically. So that I did a video on it, and the first bar that I made them for, they absolutely loved them. Well, then there's 2 other bars here in town that had got wind of it. So I've already been contacted to make a bunch of them for them. Nice. The best thing is they're made out of scraps.
Nice.
I make a lot of coaster holders, and every piece of 16-inch square 1/8-inch plywood, I have this border around the outside that's not cut. That's perfect for making these round tuits.
Nice. So a friend of mine invited me to this Irish bar once, but it was a private bar. He knocked on the door and they show him a club ID and they let you in. And they had those. And that was crazy. And I thought, I'm Mexican. Why am I going to an Irish bar? I'm going to get in a fight with somebody. They definitely got drunk, but they didn't bother nobody. It was a great time.
I wish I had one here I could show to explain a little bit better what it is. Maybe next week I'll have one where I got to make a bunch of them if I can find the time to do it. Now I got all these orders. I don't have time to get them filled. I'm telling people, you're gonna have to wait a couple of weeks. I got
so what is the danger now that everybody has a camera in their pocket? What's the danger? Somebody's just going to take a picture of one of these things and go home and make a pocket full of them.
You can. One of the things that one of the bar managers brought up with me, he says, I love the idea. He says, but people are going to steal those. I says, that is exactly what you want, because you're not going to get one unless somebody's bought a round.
Right. So then they don't get a beer.
Yeah. So let's say it's for a beer or a well drink, or, there's different round to it for different levels. Top shelf liquor's a different round to it. But they, this is pretty cool. I'm just going to keep that. Well, the bars made money here. Okay. Yeah. They lost their $1 for that round to it that it cost them to get from me, but they didn't have to make that $10 drink, but they already have the money for it. That's and cool. Once I explained this to one of the bar managers, he goes, "Oh, I never thought of that."
Yeah, you want everybody to steal them.
Yeah. So I at this one particular bar, they're very, very busy. They want 100 of them.
Yeah. The other thing is the person who steals it doesn't really have any value in like this is worth $10 because they didn't pay for it. They're just gonna take it because they think it's cool. The person who gave it to them is out the $10.
Yeah, right? That's true.
So they're not like, oh, well, I'm wasting $10. They didn't pay for it to begin with. Yeah. So the likelihood of them doing that might be pretty good if they like the way think it looks cool.
One of the problems with talking to a couple of different bartenders here was, they were using these little red plastic shot glasses to, somebody bought a round little red plastic shot glass, well, you can go to the Dollar Tree and buy those.
Yeah.
So it's real easy to just, come in on a busy night and you've got some of them in your pocket. And
Yeah.
That's been their concern. They're trying to watch all the time. Now, if you're in a place where you have, what I call common clientele, like a Cheers type place where everybody
Right.
knows your name, and yeah, you're not going to have that problem there. But in a really busy bar that, or nightclub, you could have that kind of problem going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Good night.
Thank you. Alan said, hello from Rocky Face, Georgia. My CNC from China is at port in California on Sunday.
Sweet. Are you guys paying duties on these things now?
Man.
Yeah, there's duty. There's tariffs.
Yeah.
So I the controller that we were talking about before we went online, Steve. I was talking to PWN CNC this morning on the phone. And I said, hey, do you guys have an influencer program? They said, yeah. I said, oh, I don't see one on your website. He says, no, it's invite only. He said, send me your link. I sent to him. He goes, oh, yeah, we'll accept you. I'm like, all right. So then I said, so I always see people doing these banners and all this crazy stuff you guys have. Can you guys send me some marketing material? He said, yeah. And then so I asked him for some stuff, and he says, we'll send it to you 2 separate orders. And I said, why? And he says, those tariffs we have? He said, yeah. He says, well, if you order like 6 at a time, for some reason, we don't get hit with the tariffs. So we order 6 at a time. He was like, so would you rather wait or pay 26% more? I was like, I'll wait. No, it's not that important. I'll wait. No problem. He said, we're only talking a 4-day difference. If you don't get this shipment, you'll get the next. I'm like, that's fine. He said, but every 4 days, they keep coming in. I said, that's fine.
So Alan doesn't say which CNC he got here. So.
Yeah,
let us know, Alan. What'd you get? Excited to know. I know buying a CNC is a huge commitment. To me, it was kind of scary. It's nice having a community that can support you, like Steve and Andy and some of us and others in our subscriber base. But that definitely makes it a lot easier to swallow that bullet because it's an expensive journey.
Yeah, it's like having a Coke addiction.
Yeah. Steve, this is for you. You want
well, this is Jim's conversation. Yeah, Jim, if you sell that coaster for $25 or $30, you're going to be an artist.
Yeah. I think Skylar sells some really high-end coasters
get
like
yourself,
that too.
Yeah, get yourself a Sharpie and sign the back of every one of them. Then it's original art. Number them like 1 of 27 or something.
So did you guys see the Bill Gates thing this morning?
No.
2 years ago, he said that he'd die an average man. And then before he dies, he's going to give away all his wealth. Because basically that he doesn't need to purchase anything because he owns everything. You own your car outright, you own your house outright, and his income can pay for his livelihood. So the money in the bank is just money in the bank. What does he need it for? It's just collecting interest. He'll never be able to spend it.
Yeah.
So it was kind of jokingly said like, yeah, right. Right. Yeah. Did he have a come to Jesus moment or a mission of guilt? Like, where is this coming from? But at any rate, I think it's 2 or 3 days ago, he gave 31% of his money away. And all his money
I'm going to have to get down to my mailbox and see if I got a check.
He sent it to Africa. And some people had a heartburn about that because they were saying, why isn't he spending in the United States? But at the end of the day, he sent to Africa for like medical stuff for hospitals, for education, and things like that. Like, it is still a third world country. So,
yeah, well, he has spent a lot of his wealth on medical research and things, right? So,
yeah.
I always thought back in the 90s there when he was trying to take over the world that he was, spawned from the devil, but he actually turned out to be an okay guy.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy when I read an article today that he posted, and it was about how AI is going to change the world, right? And that what professions are not going to be affected by AI and what professions are going to be eliminated. And it was kind of scary to think like, wow, like
stonemasons aren't going to be affected by AI.
Like, well, what can it not do? Like, it's going to be insane.
Yeah, and it's not all going to be good either. That's for sure.
Look, China opened their first factory that doesn't even have lights because it's 100% AI ran with robots. It doesn't need lights.
Yeah. So IBM had one of those back in, I don't know, probably the early 90s, the dark factory, which was where they were building all of their small PCs, the PS2s. and no lights on, no anything. It was just,
Yeah.
And they figured they saved, because everything was put together with robots, they certainly saved the labor, but they figured they saved like millions of dollars a year not having to turn lights on.
Right, because the factory probably never turns lights off. Right, it's on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Chris said, target your clients. You can up the price you charge. Yeah, I mean, to the effect what Steve said, you almost have to feel evil at some point, because I was trying to be what I thought was being fair. Like if something cost me $5 and I'm charging $45, I thought, hey, that's pretty good. But the fact that if I charge 125 or 300, that I would sell more, is kind of like, whew, you know.
Yeah, it is disturbing actually how that works.
David said, what size entry hole do you have on that birdhouse? I went to Google, and I said, what is the recommended size hole, and what is the recommended size shape, and what is the recommended size birdhouse? And they give you like this size it's a weird shape actually. I forget what this is called. That was in elementary school, remember? But at any rate,
Pentagon.
Supposedly that allows more birds to want to enter.
Yeah, that's a pentagon.
Yeah, versus a circle or a hole, because I guess they can fit in easier, or different size birds. I don't know if there's any truth in that. I'm not a bird watcher by any means, or have any great knowledge on birds, but I just went to Google, and that's what it said, and so that's how I based off my dimensions off of.
I don't think I've ever seen a birdhouse with a pentagon shaped hole before. Maybe that's why you can't sell them. They're weird.
I don't know. I'm telling you.
You don't want to buy a birdhouse with a 5-sided hole, and your neighbors start to judge you, right?
Think you're satanic. Howdy from STL. Chris said, I often think about printing flyers of a map of cheap stores like Walmart, to hand out certain customer types.
I can kind of get where he's coming from there, because you've got them people that, especially when you're trying to sell something on eBay. Well, you want $100 for this, so you take 10. What? This is not a yard sale.
Yeah.
We get that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Mostly from eBay.
Yeah, well, and that's the craft market style too, right? Where
I had a flower bed box.
People think it's a yard sale, and it's like, this is my livelihood here. I'm selling, $10 keychains or whatever they are.
I had a flower bed box for sale with a lattice going up the back for sale in front of my house, and the guy stopped, and he was like, "Would you take $10?" And I says, "For $10, I'll throw it in the fire pit and let you watch it burn." I said, "Those 4x4 legs are cedar. Do you have any idea what a 4x4 cedar costs?" I was like, "No, it's 100% made out of cedar. No, I won't take $10 for it."
I'd say, yeah, I'll take your $10 and I'll get the hell out of my yard.
You know what I mean? Like, what? I couldn't believe it. That was like, wow. Oh yeah, 100% made out of cedar. Yeah, Tim said, "Damn, it's hot."
Yeah, it was definitely hot here today.
See that you're up.
Sending me a message. You got any extra X-Tool apparel printer moisturizer? Ran out. Wow, you ran out already? I don't actually have an X-Tool apparel printer, so no. You're gonna have to just knuckle under and call up X-Tool.
So one thing I would definitely recommend when you're using DTF printer is they sell these on Amazon, these gauges that keeps an eye on the temperature and the humidity level in the room, and you want that room to be at least 50%. Now be careful though, because once you go over 50% in a room, you create a risk of creating black mold. So there's a happy medium. Don't go. So a lot of times people do is they'll kind of keep it close to the printer, so they don't have to really get the whole room up.
Yeah, well, where Tim and I live, moisture is not a problem.
Well, when you turn the heat on, it does.
Yeah.
There's a difference when you have the AC on versus the heat on. It makes a big difference in your house.
Yeah, this is a place where the air humidity is like 100% 10 months a year.
Oh wow.
Well, one of the nice things since I moved our print farm into the basement of our house here is it's a lot easier to control the humidity from where I was out in the loft where there was no real temperature control.
Yeah.
I mean, the house is air conditioned, and I can keep the humidity down here, in the 20s real easy. And then inside the printers themselves, I try to keep everything under 10.
Yeah, so I did something similar, Roger. So I have the Ecobee thermostat. So I'll keep my house at a certain temperature, and then I try to control the environment that room's in based on what I'm doing. Because absolutely, it's hard to do woodworking in the basement, and then it's hard to do DTF printing on the second floor, especially when heat rises, right? And summer to winter, winter to summer, dampers and all that, it makes a huge difference in your house. Team Destruction said, I did down south. We did down south. I'm centrally and not just hot. Name Team Destruction because I have identical twin boys and they can destroy anything. I tell my wife that all the time. I says, you imagine if we had twins? She says, no, Rick, I don't. No, I don't.
You'd probably be dead now.
Well, then ask her, would you like to? I like this. Here, this is a good idea. Chris is saying, I'm thinking of making a few round tullets using brass coins for an upmarket bar. Yeah, that would be a good
cool.
Yeah, and this was what I was immediately thinking was make them out of brass, because if it's going to be, for a round of beer and you've already paid for it, you're probably going to want to give that brass thing back, and it's going to look pretty stylish, right? Whereas an engraved piece of wood is an engraved piece of wood. But
right, but the other thing Roger was saying, though, is that if it's gifted, I might take it because I think it's cool too.
Yeah, but no matter what, it's like a coupon at the bar, right? Like
right.
Sooner or later, somebody's going to return it and say, I want my beer now.
Right, but hopefully that if it doesn't get returned, the drink costed way more than the coin, right? So the company still profited.
Yeah, and I mean, a brass coin, if you get a small one, like get a 20 millimeter coin.
Oh, a nickel, right?
Yeah,
instead of a
25 millimeter, so 1 inch, and that's not going to cost that much, $2-3.
Chris said, he said sell them for $45. I don't think a bar is going to pay $45 or
no, you might be talking about your birdhouses.
Oh, nobody said.
Oh no, I guess he's not.
He's telling Chris, yeah. I don't. I mean, hey, I was wrong with the birdhouses. I could be wrong. There's a market for anything, but I think that might be a hard sell. Alan said ship DTP where the seller prepaid duties.
DDP? What's that?
Prepaid duties. Yeah, oh. I did see that Infinity did say no matter what the tariffs become, they'll absorb the cost. They're not supposedly going to raise their prices. We'll see how that ends up panning out.
It's supposed to go to 35%. So
we'll see how that pans out but
it's actually, so what's happening is companies that use a lot of things like aluminum are actually repositioning major component assembly in Canada because they don't have to pay any tariff on aluminum here, and it's cheaper doing that and sending it back across the U.S. border and paying 25% instead of 50%. So it's economics is just escapes most politicians. So
it was weird to me. I didn't realize that Monport's U.S. base, or at least one of the locations at any point, is about far west as you can go and about far as north as you can go till you're almost in Canada, like right on the border. And I thought maybe there was some reason they chose that location because, most of the time when you're shipping, you'd want to be Chicago, New York, California because of ports. So I thought there had to be some kind of advantage why they would choose that location.
There's got to be a port there too. It's probably Portland or something, isn't it? Like,
I don't know.
Where is it on the coast?
Oh yeah, West Coast, like northwest, like right on the border. Yeah.
Trying to think what's there on the U.S. side of the border.
Chris said, what that would get you a cheap drink at this bar? Oh, so I think what he was saying is make it a $45 coin. Because how Roger was saying, you have different tier coins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
A
have
$5 coin,
one
$10.
for actually. There's quite a few different tiers. It depends on the bar I'm doing these for. Some have one for just say for a beer, or another one says or draft beer or canned beer, bottle beer, and then the next one will be a well drink as using bar liquor. Then you have second shelf, and you have top shelf.
That's cool.
So Alan's CNC is the ultimate B. I remember. I think he was here last week and he mentioned it. It's a 20 by 30 inch. That's a good size.
Yeah.
Especially if it's your first CNC. I mean, it's big enough that you're not going to run out of space right away, and small enough that you can still afford the thing if you're buying your first one.
Mr. Gates, send me 30K. I'll build a shop. Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm not even sure you can build a shop anymore for 30,000.
No.
You know what's crazy is that
Just don't put a saw stop in it.
I've seen and I'm like really thinking on accepting it. I've seen these like pop-up garages that are all aluminum. Like it's like a 4.5 car garage for like 12,000. You're like, how?
It's just a shell, right? So
yeah,
like there's no walls, there's no plumbing, there's no anything else other than
right. But that's built.
Yeah,
but that doesn't include your foundation or your slab or the electrical or the plumbing or
right,
insulation
just
or anything
building.
else.
Just the building. But that's still guys to come out, bring it, assemble it. Like, I'm like, man, like.
Yeah, and they'll put them up in a day, right? Like they're just crazy fast. But then you still have to put insulation in it and.
Right. It's just.
I mean, you live in
a roof.
You live in in Illinois. You still get winter, whether you believe it or not.
Yes. Yeah. So no, I just thought it was crazy because a lot of people are talking about starting, like myself, starting in your basement and then growing out of your basement to if you have
what I've been looking at is Amazon sells tiny homes.
Really?
And I mean, the things are completely assembled, right? They bring them, they put them together, and those things are like, I don't know, here they're like 15,000, so they got to be cheap. And it's done at that point, right? You could literally live in the thing, and turn that into to a pretty stylish storefront for a maker business.
I just said Daniel Morin is the owner from PWN. He has a good product. So they got, haven't tried it yet, but I turned it on and I was surprised. It was like no sound. Obviously, when it hits wood, it's gonna be a whole different story. But I was like,
oh no, they're quiet when they're just spinning on their own.
It was like, whoa. I mean, I go turn my DeWalt router on. That thing is so loud. It is loud.
Yeah, it's the difference. It's the difference between a crappy motor and a.
All I heard was a real low hum of bearings. Like it sounded like we, like.
And the second you touch a piece of wood at 20,000 RPM, get yourself some noise canceling headphones.
Actually, it's funny you said that. So a company sent Ricky and I matching noise canceling headphones that actually you turn them on electronically and it cancels out more noise. And then it also has Bluetooth, so if you want to listen to music. So once we get this thing fired up, we're going to give them a try. I opened one just so I can charge it, but it has that noise canceling on.
I just use my AirPods. They work fine.
Yeah. That's cool. I just definitely wanted to make sure I use ear protection for Ricky. I've been a knucklehead plenty of times, and the Roger would probably agree with me. In the trades, we're just like, ear protection wasn't always one of those things. We got enough PPE on us as it is.
It's like, way back when they didn't even have earplugs, we would take Scotch locks and stick them in our ears if it was too noisy.
Yeah, no, I've got a big set of muffs and my noise canceling earbuds.
When I bought my planer, I said I need ear protection, Like,
Yes.
I could not believe how loud that was. That thing
Yeah.
is loud. I don't know how people use that in their house. I have it in my garage. It will not come in my house. It's too loud. I don't want it in my house.
Yeah. Well, wait
loud.
till your wife hears the CNC grinding through a piece of wood.
You know what?
It'd be
I was thinking
Ricky, get out of the house with that thing.
You know what I was thinking about doing is I forget what that board's called. With a bunch of holes in it, people use to hang tools and stuff.
Pegboard.
Pegboard?
Yeah, pegboard. I was
Yeah.
thinking about taking pegboard and screwing it to my ceiling and then putting that soundproof stuff, or maybe insulation. Maybe it would kind of dampen the noise.
If you
above me.
right above it, if you insulate, like take rock wool or something, and then put a piece of plastic over it, like vapor barrier plastic,
Right.
You'll muffle a lot of the sound. Build a box for it. Just put it in a cabinet.
So is yours in a box?
No, but I would like it, even though mine is not attached to my house. My workshop is across my driveway. But if I'm in there trying to do anything and the CNC's running, it's just wicked, right? So you can't talk. Like if I'm there with somebody else and I'm trying to talk to them, it's like, what? It's like for those old enough to remember Get Smart, the cone of silence, where it was anything but useful. That's what happens. You can't hear anything.
Batfink said, I like Gates' approach. He doesn't think about nationality or politics. It's pure efficiency. The money goes where it does the most value. ROI is highest where there's most needed. He did get backlash because didn't go to the United States, and his company's a US based country, but at the end of the day, like I said, United States, Canada, Mexico, if you got hurt, you can walk in a hospital. And in Africa, that may not always be the case.
Yeah, and we're digging out. There's a lot of old people on the call because Batfink is a for those who remember Batfink. It's an old cartoon from I don't know when, probably the 60s or early 70s.
Dave Pinko said, I think you selected the whole. I think you selected the hole based on the breed of bird. A big hole allows predators to invade the nest. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So I stayed the middle-sized hole, whatever, because they say smaller, bigger. I just want smack dab in the middle. I want smack dab in the middle for the dimensions, smack dab in the middle for the size. So it's pentagon, not pentagram.
Yeah, pentagon.
No, I'm saying because Steve said the neighbors might think you're weird, Worship the devil, look at his birdhouse. Team Destruction called my kids Search and Destroy. That nice one. I always say my son's like Bam Bam, man. Like the kid, he walks like he's a 350-pound man. Like, when he wakes up, because it's like, boom, boom, boom. Yeah. And he pisses like, you guys remember Revenge of the Nerds where that guy takes a piss and it's like it never ends? Do you remember that? You don't remember Revenge of the Nerds?
Yeah.
I've seen it, yeah.
So he goes to the bathroom and that guy's peeing and he's like peeing and he's peeing, he's peeing. That's Ricky. That boy can pee like forever. Like, how long you been holding that?
Hollow leg.
Yeah. Chris, the shed is about minimum half finished cost. Yeah. Yeah, I agree, because like you're saying, you still got to do insulation, you still got to do foundation, you still got to do electrical. You might want to put gutters, to keep the water away from the foundation. But I've just been surprised on how drastic the prices come down. Clack said the wood will release the banshee from the spindle.
The banshee, the screaming banshee.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're about to see.
Yeah, at least if you're using a router for your CNC, there's no subtlety, right? It's noisy right from the get-go. But a spindle, it's like, you hear birds chirping and all of a sudden it's
Yeah. We'll see how it works out. I may be doing that.
The first time you do this, make sure your wife is like shopping or something, like she's not in the house. Just so you can gauge it.
Close the basement door, but the living room.
No, that's not going to help.
No,
It's
no.
high frequency. It goes through everything.
Okay. All right, we'll be figuring something out. You know what they do sell too is those blankets.
Yeah. Yeah, they're basically like moving blankets or fire blankets.
Yeah.
They absorb
So
a
I
lot
have
of
like
sound.
yeah, so I basically bought shower curtains and the I-beam that goes across my support in my basement. I just fastened it to the I-beam so that the dust, what I'm doing in this quarter of my basement, doesn't go to the other side of my basement. So maybe I could hang.
You won't get a lot of dust off a CNC.
No, but what I was saying is maybe I could hang blankets behind it to kind of try to.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll
or get some 2-inch memory foam and hang that up.
Yeah.
So Madra brings up a good point here, but you'll also need dust collection and air filtration. Once you turn on the dust collection, it's harder to hear the CNC.
Yeah, the dust collector. I got the big Harbor Freight.
Yeah.
And then
it looks like it's the same size as the one I have.
Yeah, and then I got the Wen air filtration system. So we'll see how it. I've been seeing you can download noise decibel apps on your phone.
Yeah,
I might do some kind of side-by-side comparison, compared to other tools inside of your shop. Chris said, use earplugs. My tetanus sucked big time. I never thought I would have worked in loud environments.
Tinnitus is a killer.
Ringing, right?
Yeah. Yep. This is what happens when you don't wear ear protection for years on end.
Yeah. Or if you've been to too many rock concerts.
Yes.
Guess how I know that.
Chris said, not all the money gates, just not all the money gates made or originated in the US. I agree. And I wasn't saying that. I was just saying what I was reading, the backlashes on Facebook, because he's a US based company. They were saying he should have spent his money in the US. Those are the America comments. But it's his money. He can do what he wants with it, right? The fact he's even giving it away is crazy.
Yeah, Warren Buffett said the same thing. He was going to give all his money away.
Now, Marge said, it screams if you're not running it hard. Make sure you have material clamped down. So I'm going to do the 2-inch dog holes.
2-inch?
Or whatever it is.
2-inch separation, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Whatever the I don't even know what size that PVC is. What size is that? Inch and a quarter?
It'll vary. You'll have to measure it. Just get like you can use half-inch. You can use half or 3/4-inch PEX pipe.
Yeah, whatever it is at Home Depot or Menards, whatever that is, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, the idea of that stuff is either half or 3/4, so the OD is a little bit bigger. But
right,
just use that stuff. It's cheap. You don't care if you run over it with the bit.
Yeah, and I saw someone on YouTube actually do a video, and they have a template already for the 1 you can download. So I was going to cheat, to be honest, and just use this file and then give them credit for the file.
Yeah, they're right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only reason mine was special was because I wanted to be able to carry the pieces in my car, so I couldn't get a 4x8 sheet. And I also wanted to have the hole cut out for the fourth axis in the table.
Yeah, so I got to figure out what I'm going to do with that.
Don't ask me for the plans for that because there aren't any.
That's still in the box, so we'll see. But I've been on
make one of these cutting boards first, and then you can maybe tackle the fourth axis.
I spent a good part of yesterday afternoon on Etsy looking at STL files, and wow, I went down a rabbit hole. Man. Yeah. So I would say when it comes to lasers, I'm so comfortable in Illustrator and all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't think I would even consider. Like, I'll just make it myself. But and I hope at some point I feel the same way for the CNC. But I thought there's nothing wrong or no shame in just buying a couple files just to get running.
Yeah, the next thing you're going to have to learn after CNC stuff, when you want to do spindle work, if you want to do original designs, then you have to get something like Fusion or FreeCAD or something.
So that Aspire, doesn't it?
You're building 3D objects, right?
Doesn't Aspire do the 3D? That was the whole.
No, it does 2.5D.
Okay. So can you explain the difference?
So if you look at, and I don't think I have a piece here, but if you look at a chess piece, let's say you look at a pawn, right? It's got, if you look on the side of it, it's got a particular shape. So with Fusion, you can draw that shape, just a line that's that shape, and then you can rotate it around the axis and you'll get the piece, right? You'll get a
So you're creating a profile.
Piece. Yeah.
Okay.
You can't do that kind of thing with Fusion, not as a 3D object. So a lot of the things people use for 3D printers are the same things you use for a fourth axis on a CNC.
Okay.
A lot of the same tools.
So an additional learning curve. Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah, you can use Blender. Like you can do anything that'll do 3D, right? As long as you can spit out an STL file, you can load it into Aspire and
I like your idea that people were saying that, you know, if you're using a 4x4, I saw a lot of people using 4x4s to do certain projects. You have to kind of get rid of that edge, and you're saying just put on a table saw and cut them off to start with. You know, that I was like, why was that not just like, duh? You know what I mean? Especially
well, it saves one tool path, right? Because if you're starting from a square block and you're turning a chess piece, you have one tool path that literally just chips the corners off, and then you have the next tool path which kind of makes the rough-in for the round piece. And it's just easier to do it that way. You save 20 minutes or more.
Yeah, no. When you said that, I was like, why was I thinking that was so complicated? Why wasn't that like a common sense response? But yeah, sometimes.
Like I said, you gotta be careful, because when you cut that little wedge off the corner of a block, it becomes a bullet when it gets through the other side of the table saw.
Yeah.
So definitely don't stand behind the thing when you're cutting, because you'll end up with a little triangle-shaped bruise in your stomach. At least one, depending on how long it takes you to learn the lesson.
Cosman said there's also a vibration app in case you want to compare vibration between levels and different setups. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I wonder if that would work on. I was wondering if that would work on the personal handheld massagers.
Yeah, you still have that quarter bed, right, Roger?
The what?
The quarter bed.
Oh yeah. I was thinking, thinking more of the little portable handheld massagers that are popular with.
The other thing that's useful to have is an RPM meter, like that you can point at the spindle, because the speed that the
so there's a such
VFC
thing like a
says on it
is not
RPM. Truthful. Sorry.
There's actually like a gauge, like a laser gauge, to actually show your RPM.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they use them in cars.
Oh, so you're saying a timing gun?
I have just a small one. It's like a little handheld thing. And it, but what I realized is when I tell my CNC to turn my spindle to turn at 18,000 RPM, it's actually turning at a lot closer to 16,000.
Oh wow!
So the VFC, the control for the spindle, lies. Basically, it doesn't have the right speed, and no matter of settings that I tried could make it tell me the right speed.
Do you think that it could be a mesh or a mix mash of, because you're using several different manufacturers together, like you're using one brand?
No, the spindle and the controller for the spindle are all from the same place.
Okay.
Other than that, the only thing the CNC controller is doing is saying turn on, turn off, and set your speed.
Unless there's a rotary encoder giving feedback to the VFD, it's not going to know exactly what the RPM is. It's just going to be kind of whatever.
Yeah, it comes close, right? But
because mine actually has like a little card. This thing?
Yeah, that's probably your VFD.
Yeah.
Yep. And that thing will lie to you. Don't trust it.
Okay. Yeah, so it has a little card.
It's like it's exactly like when little Ricky has the chocolate all over his face and says he didn't eat the chocolate bar. That's what your VFD is going to do to you.
You know what I was really
it's worse when it's the other way, right? Because if it's turning faster than you think, you can have the bit come apart on you, right? So,
one thing I was surprised about PW and CNC, two things. One, that they openly show you on their YouTube channel all their parts being printed on a bamboo printer.
Mm-hmm.
So for one, when you do receive it, like I can grab it, but the dust collector, I have the rear collection dust collector only because I thought it would be. I see everyone makes these YouTube videos using the CNC, and they take the dust collector off because you can't see it. Yeah. So I thought by having the rear, if I was still recording something, you could still see it. At least that was my logic. We'll see how that works out. But
yeah, it doesn't matter. You're going to take it off anyway.
That was the logic.
I can send you the plan for the STL files for the one I designed.
Okay, yeah, but I was surprised that
works all right.
Right. So by them showing you that it's 3D printed, it's not injected molded, right? So it's a little rough. You can tell it's 3D printed, right?
Yeah.
So you know that buying it, and then not all, but a good majority of their for sale items, they actually let you buy the STL for like $5. I was really surprised they did that too.
Yeah. Yeah, the irony is people 3D print the stuff, but if they send it to an injection molding place and got them to injection mold the parts, it would probably cost them a fraction of what it does to 3D print it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, how long do you think it takes to print one of those dust boots? It's probably going to take 3-4 hours by the time you're done.
Right.
Because there's a whole bunch of parts, right?
Yes. I just said I can design 2.5D and Aspire 3D without undercuts.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the undercuts that are going to kill you, especially on something like a chess piece, right? Where you have the knight or the rook, whatever, the horse. It's the knight. Where you have his nose kind of hanging down. That thing underneath between his sort of his nose and his neck quite often is cut out. But on a CNC, when you lay that thing out on a CNC, the CNC thinks it's flat, right? So you'll lay this thing out and you'll see this flat thing with all these weird bumps on it. And when it rolls it around a tube, it's actually the knight, but it doesn't know anything about undercuts when it does that.
Oh,
so you have to do a couple tricks. You turn it the way it wants to do it the first time by itself, and then you actually create a toolpath that is just the side. So you rotate 90 degrees so it's facing sideways, and then you have a toolpath that just cuts out that area.
Oh.
And you can do it. It's
okay.
It's easier than carving it by hand, like a lot of people do, but
a whittler.
But it's it's tedious, and you'll make a box full of bad chess pieces before you finally get it right. If you're making chess pieces.
Steve, you want to take this one?
Batfink says, I spent years trying to learn Fusion 360. Yeah, finally found a good trainer. My go-to is learn everything about design. Yeah, that's not a bad place. I have his paid course, and it was the only course that made sense to me. To an artist. I see he's an artist. He knows it. There's... I didn't have much trouble with Fusion 360 just because of the way my brain's wired. I'm engineering mentality, right? So it wasn't that hard for me, but I can see how somebody who is, we'll say an artist, but somebody who's more of a visual understander, like you have to see something, I could see how they would have much more difficulty with it.
Clark said, Rick, I sent you the file for the 3D half fish I use in your email. I'll check it out. Thanks, Clark.
The half fish?
Lead. You want to take this, Steve?
Learn everything about design as a YouTube channel. bonus if you're a car guy like I am. I guess he's a car guy too. Yeah, they're out there. Same thing with like FreeCAD. There's lots of good tutorials on YouTube with FreeCAD. I'm actually thinking of dropping Fusion just because of the cost of it.
What is the cost?
It varies. If you catch it when they're having some kind of a sale, you can get it for I don't know, $300 a year, but usually it's twice that.
So when are you using that? When do you need that?
So I use Fusion for even stuff I cut out on a laser, even like 2D stuff. Just because it's easier to measure. You can do assemblies, so you can know that something's going to fit together before you ever cut it out. Anything 3D. All the cabinets in my workshop, I modeled on Fusion first, and then you just spit out all of the cut files, and you just cut pieces, right? And they just all fit together. You don't have to worry about it. So it's anytime you want something precise.
Marty said, I seriously recommend Vista Sculpture for STI files. It can create 3D models. Have you heard of that?
Yep.
I'll check it out, Madra.
I think actually Madra mentioned this last week too. Vista Sculpt.
Let me just Google that right now so I have it open on my phone. Hold on.
Yeah, there's lots of ways to create STL files. The new version of Blender 4.5 or whatever they're up to now, they've made the learning curve a lot less steep.
As I Googled that, the first thing that came up was Vista Sculpt crack. All righty.
Yeah, you know, it's always
apparently it's expensive enough that people are selling cracks. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Chris said
we're not promoting that. Just
no. Chris said third curtain rods would probably be a good starting point for 3D work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's already round.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you can go to the hardware store and you can get like the 2-inch dowel.
Yeah. Chris said, I have a laser taco for checking spindle speeds.
Yeah.
There you go. Look at that laser tack. Getting fancy.
Yeah, and I yes, and tachometer escaped my brain when I said the RPM thingy, whatever I said. Yeah, and I just got I paid like $25 for mine on Amazon. It's I mean, it's probably not calibrated to within an RPM or anything, but it's closer than the VFD was telling me.
Yeah, I just looked online. I'd say the Amazon Chinese import specials.
Yeah,
you know, it's not Macro or anything like that. But
and it was like 20. I think it was $20 or something. $25.
Yeah, I'll grab one. Check it out.
It's probably $500 once you put tariffs on it, but.
Steven said the chimichangas turned out great. I felt
I like a good chimichanga.
Yeah, I've had my share of those.
Cosman said, learn anything about design is neat, but goes way beyond what is capable for a CNC.
Yeah, well, and this is the challenge with even tools like, well, I mean, he's probably looking at the Fusion tutorial. Fusion can do a ton of stuff, right? But if you're just using it to cut out laser designs, well, you use about that much of an ocean worth of capability, right? So you have to pick and choose. I actually was going to do at least one video or a video series on just what you need to know about Fusion for a laser person, right? Because it's really limited. You could pick it up in 20 minutes, but you got to get through a whole bunch of scary layers to get there. And
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, but I use it for all that stuff.
Chris said, go ahead.
Chris says, Steve, with an engineering mind, you should be able to assemble stuff in your head. I would love to be able to do that, but alas, my brain just is too full of holes at this point. I can envision it, but then I need to know that it's going to fit down to the fraction of a millimeter, right? So
Tim said, has anyone seen the new Monport Auto Forge coming out soon? I just saw it on the Kickstart soon. No.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
And
Roger, have you seen
Roger
the
and I are
new
affiliates. So
have you seen the new Snapmaker U1 3D printer?
Well, I haven't seen that one either.
Yeah, it's just coming out. I would love to actually see one of those. They claim to have fixed the waste material on a color 3D printer.
Oh, they must have multiple extruder then, multiple head extruder.
Yeah, probably. But they use a fraction of. They still do. They still have a block in the back, but it's much smaller than say a bamboo. You don't get that, that big dish full of pretzels at the end that you get on a bamboo.
Yeah, we call it poop.
Yeah, well, yeah. I was trying to be polite, but
the Monport Auto Forge works as the first all-in-one laser with 4 modules and auto loading. Monport's supposed to send me a new laser on the 20th. I'll ask about this. They didn't mention this at all. It looks kind of wild. Like you can actually do like hat clips, dog tags, and it's actually on a conveyor belt system and just banging them out.
Yeah.
Look at that. They're just stacking them.
Huh. Oh,
Yeah,
they have a hopper that loads the conveyor, and then they pass the conveyor through the laser.
Yeah. It says auto load.
That seems like an expensive approach compared to what Xtool did, where they just recognize the shape of something and turn the design on it. You can just throw things on the conveyor any shape, any position you want.
I'll ask them about it. I've been talking with them back and forth the last couple of days. I'm surprised they didn't mention anything. I did actually post in our Facebook group a poll, and I was asking, what type of laser do you have? And the reason I'd asked this question is because Steve obviously has been talking a lot about UV lasers. In our group, he's the only one who has one. But, and then we were talking about the next level of UV laser, which is being able to create these 3D images in crystal or glass.
I have one of those coming.
So
I can't say who it's from yet, but they're coming.
So, I have one coming too. I finally I'm gonna make my list of demands that they require of me. I have one coming on the way too. And I have my first 3D printer coming on the way too. But let me see the name here. I'll tell you if you guys let me know if you guys heard of it. Let me find it. Clack, I just saw my email. I got the email with your file. Thank you. You want to take this, Steve, while I dig for this email really quick?
Chris says the accuracy of tachometers all come down to the chip used. Yeah. I mean, again, we're not.
My only question then is
for sub RPM accuracy, right? You're really just trying to get within 50 or 100 even.
My only question then is, who do you trust? Do you trust the CNC, or do you trust this $23 tachometer?
I don't trust the CNC because its basic job is to shove pulses out, right? It doesn't have any concept of speed.
Okay. Yeah, without a rotary encoder giving feedback to the VFD, it's putting out a set voltage of frequency, and that's it. Yeah. So if your house voltage would vary a little bit, it'll change your RPM output.
Yeah. So while my little $20 tachometer is maybe maybe suspect, it was designed to actually measure speeds, not anything else. So I would have to trust it more. It's not going to be out by 2000 RPM, that's for sure. There actually is some of these available because I originally started with a phone app, and you put a piece of tape or something on the collet and measure it. And it was out by 2000, and I thought, oh, well, this is crazy. I'm going to have to go buy a tachometer. It can't be out that much, but it was. Both of those tools agreed that it was out by 2000 RPM.
Harold said, "Hey guys, I made it all the way from
Poughkeepsie,
New York."
Did you learn how to say Poughkeepsie yet?
No, I screwed it up again. Welcome.
Yeah, the 80-20
Chris
rule.
said-
80% of the people use 20% of the function of most things, and that's quite true.
Yeah. And Fusion, it's hard to use more than 20% at any one time. Your brain probably doesn't have most of the capacity you need for that. I've done things like because you can do stress analysis and all kinds of things, and I've done that a couple of times, but you basically have to forget all this stuff over here so you make room in your brain for this new thing, and it's hard. But one thing I do like in Fusion is the ability to do a cross section. So, and you can basically slice your way through an assembly, and you can see how much interference there is or how tight the fit is. I use that quite often.
Batfink saying that he has 2 Mon ports. They'll be his last. Both work well, but the customer service is brutal. Well, try Creality sometime.
Oh, you're on Creality again.
Yeah, want to get into
Creality.
some crappy customer service.
This is the 3D printer that's on its way. Have you guys heard of this?
Arco?
Yeah.
Arco?
Yeah. Heard of it. Have not messed with one, but yeah, I've heard of it.
Have you noticed that all 3D printers are starting to look the same? They all look like bamboos now.
Yeah, or a kitty. The Arco looks a lot like a kitty.
Yeah. So yeah, that's on its way. See how it works out. I'm excited.
I do have I do believe I have a 3D printer coming, the one that'll print carbon fiber. I'm interested to see that one.
Vinfrac, I would say this. I don't care what brand it is. Whenever I'm purchasing anything, especially something that's going to be expensive, one thing that could bring value to the purchase is the community. Yes. So if you go and you type in Monport and you see 7 Facebook pages with 30,000 members, screw the manufacturer. And I mean that in a nice way, because you're always going to get a faster response from that community than any manufacturer, because they're on a 13-hour difference than you in most cases.
The challenge comes when you actually need a part, right?
Right. Right. If and when you need a part. But as far as tech support, you're having problems, you're beating a head against the wall, you're not sure what you're doing wrong, that community is going to be your lifeline.
Yeah, and this was the advantage of companies like Longer, ComMarker, Xtool. You can get parts, right?
I couldn't believe Xtool, because it was almost like becoming open source for their parts. Like how, like, everything they listed you can buy. I mean, you could just go on there and buy it. Like,
for Xtool?
Like, no, not Xtool, Longer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all off the shelf, right?
I couldn't believe it though, but they were the point is that they were like,
that's the old school lasers, right? All the new stuff is all custom parts now.
Yeah.
Right, you know, in the 3D printer field,
everything they're using.
Like with Bamboo, if you need parts for a Bamboo printer and you go on their site, they have every part you could possibly need. And you can order right off their site, and you'll have it actually pretty quick.
Yeah. Now you can actually do that with Creality too, Roger, but you have to get through their shield of BS first.
Yeah.
Chris said, "I agree."
But actually, sorry, Rick. Most of Creality's parts are sold on is it
Amazon.
AliExpress or yeah? I mean, you can get them all anyway, and they're cheaper actually. I think I ordered. What did I order? A controller board or something for a Creality printer, and it was half the price on, I think it was AliExpress versus Creality.
Chris said, "I agree. Functionality and support are more important than the initial purchase price."
Yep, and this is a conversation I keep having with companies. Is I don't care how cheap your laser is or how fancy it looks. If you don't support it, it's going to be a pain in the behind, right? And it's a hard lesson for them to learn. I had a real long conversation with ComMarker about it, to the point where I took apart their laser and I said, see all these things, you can't do this in the real world, right? You're going to burn somebody's house down. And they did a lot of redesign.
I was up pretty late last night with a manufacturer. I won't mention the name. But I was kind of proofreading just some of the things. They're a reputable company, outstanding. Can't say anything bad about them. but sometimes the language, like Google Translate's not always a good translate, right? And you could tell when someone uses Google Translate. And they translate from English to Chinese. In Chinese, it may sound very professional. In English, you're like, what the hell is that? I was kind of like, have you ever had anyone read some of the stuff you have on your website and on your Facebook page and on your YouTube? What do you mean? Like, do you speak English? Like, be honest.
I should have brought one. I'm looking at the Ortur R2, which is generally a pretty nice laser, but it comes with this big scary sticker, and it's basically something about don't run with the low volume on the fan, or it's all backwards. And I looked at it and went, I don't know if I should turn the fan on or not. Like is it gonna catch fire if I turn it on or not? If I don't turn it on, I wasn't sure. It was just very, very backward. And I did mention it to them and said, like, you got to fix this. This is like a warning sign, right? Like, this is, you're going to die if you do the wrong thing. So you got to fix this.
Yeah. And I get it. Like, you're using Google Translate, and Google's not always the greatest. So I was just like, I copied and pasted it and then rewrote it and then like change this. And I was, some people take, what do they say? Someone's opinion only matters if they respect your opinion, right? And I was surprised. Like, everything I gave them feedback, they literally word for word just copied and pasted how I edited their company bio, and they changed it. So that was very cool. They're very trusting.
And I do have a lot of patience for them because my general perspective on this is their English is better than my Chinese, right? My Mandarin is really
100%.
so,
right.
so I can't bash them, but at the same time, I will give you the opportunity to explain to me what you're trying to say, and I will tell you how to say it in English, right?
Right. And that's what I did. Yeah.
And and hopefully that helps. I fixed a few typos in comm markers. I think it was the B6 manual too.
I just think that could be a very good, very deterrent, right, for a new customer who's not aware of, like, maybe the reputation, just looking at some of the verbiage, and that's an immediate turn off. Like, this company is a professional. It's not that they're not professional at all. It's just literally Google Translate.
Yeah.
David said, I have a Thunder, and their support is the best in the world. I've never heard anything bad about them. I think they're kind of like they're becoming like the Xerox of lasers, right? Yeah.
I think that's actually kind of the look they're going for too. They all look like copy machines. Yeah, they approached me a while back. I'd be interested in using one of their lasers. I'm going to retire my big laser. I think the one I built. It's got a lot of hours on it. It's paid for itself 10 times over. So it's probably time for something new anyway. But Thunder would be one of the things I'd look at for sure.
I've talked to the CEO of Thunder a couple of times, like early on in my channel, and every now and then I reply to the same thread, so he continues to see the growth of my channel. Probably about 8 months ago, I talked to him, and he said, "You're not there yet, but I see the growth." Okay, keep doing what you're doing. So we'll see. So I'm still plugging away. The biggest problem I see with those Thunder lasers is I'm in my basement. So yes, you can laugh all you want if you haven't seen that video of me cutting my foundation and installing a commercial door in my back of my house. You're really limited on the size. I mean, like, even when you get some of these offers, you're like, I can't fit that in my house. It's one thing we had a garage, then I have a 2.5 car garage door. That's no big problem. But in my basement, you're limited on what you can bring in your house by the size.
Yeah.
Even with a commercial door.
Yeah. So Thunder, if you're listening, send me a laser, not Rick, because he can't fit it in his basement.
They have smaller ones.
I got a 20-foot garage door. They can roll the forklift right in and drop it on the floor.
No, the big beast ones, I just couldn't fit it in my door, even if I took the door off the hinges.
Yeah, and Monport has asked me about one too, but I don't know. They don't want me to test anything new and cool, right? And I like reviewing things that are actually going to change the industry, not just, oh, here's another open frame laser. So they had a 65-watt CO2, and it's like, I don't need one of those. So it's hard to make time for something like that. But when somebody says, hey, I got a new cold UV laser that'll put 3D images in a cube of glass. Well, hey, let me drop everything I'm doing and go find out what that's all about, right? Because these are things that are actually going to, because I mean, anything that can do 3D engraving into a cube right now is at least a $30,000 to $40,000 machine.
Yeah.
Right. And now it's being pushed down to, this might
$15,000.
be a $5,000 or $6,000 machine.
Oh, wow. That cheap?
And you can put it in your basement, right? I mean, the one I'm looking at that I'm supposed to be getting is about the size of a fiber laser. Like, it is a fiber laser in the end, right? It's a UV.
This will be coming my way soon.
At 100 watt? Who's that? Is that Cloud Ray?
Oh, UV.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I love my UV laser. I know Jim's on. He's got one.
It's a 2D, 3D EasyCAD UV Galvo. So it can do UV laser engraving, plus it can do that 3D.
Yeah. Yeah, that's everybody's going to have that in 6 months. Every UV laser will be that way.
So my niche is memorials. So to me, that is going to be like, whoa. The other thing that's cool too is like I make a lot of these memorial boxes, and like most of my customers are Italian and Mexican, right? Because that's my family and that's my friends, but close friends mostly, Italian and Mexicans, but they're all Catholic, right? So with a laser, I was saying, like, what are the things you can do with a laser you can't do with a CNC? What are the things you can do with a CNC, vice versa? And if I want to put prayer hands on a piece of wood with a laser, it's a relief, right? I'm going in and I'm color filling it. But if I do that same exact image, except I do a 3D image coming out, I just think that is like way more impressive looking.
Yeah, there's definitely things you can do with a CNC that you can't do with a laser, vice versa for sure. But what a CNC gives you is the look that somebody actually sat down and carved something for you.
Right.
Whereas there's no sort of human equivalent to what a laser engraver does. Right. It's like, because if somebody even had a scroll saw, they can't do 99% of what a laser is capable of from a laser cutting perspective. But people who are good carvers can do like a relief carving, and you look at them and you go, you're an artist, but I can push this button over here and have a machine do it for me. Yeah.
So I'm definitely excited to for two things: to challenge myself, because I'm definitely going to be going in a skill set that I'm new. And it's going to be great because I think I'm going to be able to encourage people to make that step as well. Because Steve, if you made a video on CNC, it's not the same as me, because you've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
If I do something, it's like, hey, like if I can just figure this out and hit the ground running, so can you. That's the one thing I'm saying that's a difference, right? So someone who's on that ledge, like, is this something that I should do? Is this something that I could achieve? Is this something achievable as far as, starting from zero? It's scary to walk off the ledge. So
yeah, I mean, but the reality is we all had a first day with any piece of machinery, right?
Yeah, but the difference is with a laser, it's like major and minor league, right? Like the big difference is right here. Right here, right?
That is true.
Like, you know what, this sucks, just throw it in the trash. You know what, screw it. A CNC, you cannot do that. Like, you are committed. Like, you spend some money, like, you better make it work.
Now, you are limited on materials with a CNC. I mean, it's mostly wood. You can maybe cut a bit of aluminum plate or something, brass, but it's not something you're going to do often.
Yeah.
So you're figuring mostly wood.
Yeah.
And
Nancy,
but
hello
people
from
understand.
Quebec.
Hello, Quebec. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why Nancy's talking to herself there, but
I don't recognize the name. Hey, Nancy, is this first time joining? Thank you for joining the live. Steve is your Canadian boy. You recognize that name, Steve?
I haven't seen that particular name. I've seen Gagne a lot.
Okay. Jim said, looking for other owners of Commarker CO2 Gavel 30 watt. Know of anybody? Is anyone in the live who has one of these lasers? Let us know.
Yeah, CO2 Galvo lasers in general are a bit of a rarity. And I think, Jim, I did point this out to you when you were buying this, but they're just, it's just, I mean, it's cool. Like, you can do a lot of good things with a CO2 Galvo, but they haven't gotten traction for some reason. I'm not sure why.
So I would say, what problem are you having? Because maybe it's something that doesn't have to be so specific that someone can help. It's worth asking.
I think he's just looking for camaraderie mostly.
Yeah.
Because he's done some cool things with his CO2.
Yeah, Jim posted in the Facebook group too. If you made it this far in the live and you're not already a member of our Facebook group, I would highly encourage you to do so. If you go to shoptalklive.club, it's just an auto forward that goes to our Facebook group. That way we don't have this big long URL. Join our Facebook group. If you're a influencer as well, you're welcome to post any of your content. If you sell any content, remember, you are not invading on any of our personal privacies or businesses. This is not our individual pages. This is Shop Talk Live's Facebook page. So you're welcome to post and share anything you'd like. That's wood or maker related, I should say.
Yeah, don't spam the page with like sex toys or something.
Yeah. Steve, you want to take this?
David says he loved my E1 review. Yeah, I got to get back to it. Yeah, a lot of people are in this mode now, waiting to get their E1s. They're now quoting, I think, August for a lot of these. So they're going to start shipping. I mean, they're probably starting already, but yeah, they sold a pile of these things, like millions of them.
Chris said maybe a case of patents are holding back Galvo CO2s. I think the problem is that there's like 5 or 6 real key players when it comes to lasers, as far as components.
Yeah.
And then it's all assembly and once in a while proprietary parts, but there's no laser manufacturer that's from scratch, in-house everything. No way.
Yeah, like fiber modules, nobody makes the fiber laser, right? It's like, and I posted on the X-Tool F2 Ultra, it uses a JPT module. It's, as far as I can tell, the same module that's in a Commarker B6.
Yeah.
Now, interestingly, they quote different specs, but well, I think it's probably Commarker is measuring the beam size probably right out of the fiber, whereas X-Tool is probably measuring it at the workspace. So they have a bigger beam size, but I don't know how it's the same module, right? So
yeah, I have a Reyes 30 watt fiber laser, right?
Yeah, it probably uses a JPT.
Right. But what I was laughing is that identical. I mean, when I mean identical, like even it looks like an aluminum business card that they like engraved all the specs on it and glued it to the side. These people are selling it as who knows what brand, and the only thing they did was take like a 3D printed name and like hot glue gunned it to the front. Like, yeah. Really, dude? Really?
Yeah, it's this is the world we live in, right? Like,
like, okay.
Yeah, the other manufacturer of good fiber modules is Coherent, which started as I think a French company. They used to be competitors when I worked in industrial lasers. They were one of our competitors. We got to know a lot of those guys, but they make fiber modules too, and they're in some lasers.
Backprint said, "I'd love a Galvo CO2, but if they're half the price, it's still low cost entry to RF spot size."
Yeah, I think this is one of the reasons they're not popular, right? They're pretty expensive, and it's just a pretty big barrier for a lot of people.
Yeah,
I mean, you have to be in serious business to get one, and
yeah. So I have a 30-watt fiber laser, a 60-watt MOPA laser, a 45-watt CO2 laser, the longer B1 40-watt diode laser, the Atom Stack Craft. What is that? 20 watt? 20 watt and 1.2 watt. So my wish list left is the UV 3D laser, and I want a 100-watt fiber MOPA laser, and I want a 100-watt fiber MOPA laser because I want to be able to make name planks.
Sadly for you, I have the 100-watt Titan sitting on my workbench. I've managed to turn it on about twice in the last 2 weeks, so I do have a review coming at some point, but it's in my queue.
Yeah, to me, I would use it to make jewelry.
Yeah, well, definitely for cutting, challenge coins, it'd be fine for that. I mean, it'll do all the things fiber lasers will do. I'm interested to see what the color looks like on it.
Nice.
So
yeah, I'm interested to see your review for sure. I actually Googled it after you mentioned it a couple weeks back that you had it. Check it out. It's pretty cool. I was surprised that it's reasonably priced. I thought 100 watts would be a lot more, to be honest. So it seems.
Yeah, I mean, it's not cheap, but it could be more expensive. We'd say.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. That's why I said reasonably priced. I
didn't
say cheap. I said reasonably priced.
Yeah, Commarker actually has a 200-watt Titan.
Oh man!
I can only imagine they're going to sell about 5 of those because who's going to want something that'll cut glass, right? Like it's just
that's crazy.
It's too big. I mean, it'll cut big, thick metal for sure.
Jim said, "Is that 120 volts or 220?" Or you're not sure?
The 100 is just a.
No. I'm saying the 200 watt.
Oh, I don't know. I think it's still 110.
No, that's crazy.
Wherever you live.
Yeah, 110, 120, whatever, same thing. Jim said, did the same spot on the Commaker laser site and have gotten no response. Just talk about different brands of tumblers. Did the same post on the Commaker site.
Jim, I think I don't think they've sold very many of these, and I think it's got to do with the price. And it's not that they're overpriced, it's just that these things are expensive. So not too many people have them. Most people who'd have these are they're in serious business.
Let's see. Commaker 200 watt. Let's see how much it costs.
The Titan 200, I think it's like 10K or something.
No. It says $5,999. I thought it'd be way more than that.
For the 200, it must be on sale.
Yeah.
You sure that's the 200, not the 100?
Let me look at the specs, but when I clicked on it, hold on. It gives little bait and switch there. Hold on. It's $4,799
for the 100.
For the 200.
4,700?
Yeah.
Wow, that's not bad. It must be on sale right now.
Can you? There you go. See it?
I'm gonna have to trust but verify here.
Yeah, I'm on their website right now.
I believe
the 100 watt is. Oh, didn't change the price.
See.
Oh, hey guys, I just found a glitch on their website. I went from 100 watt to 200 watt, and it did not change the price. Maybe we should try to get one. Yeah. It's not changing the price. Interesting. I wonder if they'd honor
that. When I click the 200 watt, it tells me the full bundle is $9,799.
Okay, yes. So if I click 200 watts, it shows me $4,799. But if I click a package, $8,799.
Regardless, neither one of them is cheap. They're significant cost.
So crazy. But yeah, lasers are definitely improving, and competition is good. Drives innovation, as Steve would say.
Yeah, well,
drives the
what I
price
like
down.
is we're pushing things that used to be only in industry down to
Yeah.
consumers, right? Like laser welding is a good one, right? When you look at in the packaging industry, when they went from cans that were kind of pressed together, the seam, to laser welded, you look at a laser weld and it's like somebody drew it a line with a pencil, right? Like a Sharpie. It's just incredible. Well, you can get that at home now, right? It's just like that used to be $100,000 welder.
So a buddy of mine is a childhood friend. He's a master welder, and for Caterpillar.
Yeah.
And he went from a master welder to a master CAD welder, which basically meant that he, instead of welding, ran 4 robotic machines to do all the welding. So he has to not only know how to weld, but repair the robotics. So I've promised him if I ever get one of these fiber laser welders, that I'd bring it to him, help me do the review, because he's really interested in, because he's been using those industrial laser welders for 20 years, but they're finally coming to a consumer, point that you can buy them. It's not a $500,000 machine, right?
Yeah,
But
well,
that's something that's been out a very long
right?
time.
Yeah, they're like the bottom fell out of that market, right? You can get something that 10 years ago used to cost 60 grand. Now you can get that for 2,000 or 3,000. Like, it's crazy how it went.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of stuff I like to cover, right? Because it's like this master welder guy was the only guy who could use these before, and now you can buy one for your home shop for a fraction of the cost, and it's just as good as that one that guy used 5 years ago.
Yeah, so I definitely, like I said, I would definitely value his opinion, and I promised him. I said, "Hey, man, I've been trying to get one. Trust me, if I get one, I'll be headed to your house with the box, and we'll set it up." Margie said I cut acrylic. I don't even know what that is.
Phenolic. It's like an old material. You don't see it too often anymore, but it is good for CNC work.
Wood, plexiglass, and MDF on my CNC. I'm also trying to do Formica soon. The only thing with Formica, right? Chips, right?
You probably won't chip with a CNC.
Yeah.
As long as your rates are set properly.
So I think I'm going to start with MDF, and I say that because I have some extras for the cutoffs for the sacrificial boards over here.
Yeah.
So
use those to start.
Yeah.
Now MDF will make dust because
I know
it's just.
I'm just saying that I think I'm going to be making things I'm not going to sell, right? So
no, you're not going to sell anything for the first 3 or 4 months.
Right. So I'm just going to make things out of scrap wood that I have here. Just try to see how it works out.
Get yourself a big pack of Amazon tool bits and throw your MDF up there and start chipping away at it and see what you come up with.
ABT Marketing said, hello, I'm late. Thank you for better late than never, as I say, better late than never. Thank you for joining.
Wow, he is late.
Now, Brett's Laser said, hello, everyone. I'm late too. Not a problem. Thank you for dropping in. We appreciate the camaraderie, the brotherhood, the sisterhood, everyone just joining what do we call happy hump day, so to speak, to shoot the shit, speak CNC, lasers, whatever. But if you do have any questions, let us know. It is a live questions answers. We're here to answer any questions you have.
And it's not high school, so if you're late, it's okay.
Yeah, it's all right. We're at college level now, whatever. Chris said, I would imagine the manufacturer cost between a 30 watt and a 60 watt galvo now has to be a big difference in selling price.
Is nowhere as big a difference as the selling price. Yeah, of course. This is the like when you buy the one of the 3 variants of a model of a car, right? The top of the line one is $10,000 more, but it's probably got $500 worth more stuff in it.
Yeah, I would think that you'll start seeing the bottom end tiers start to fall off, right? Just like we saw with dials.
Well, yeah. So this is the thing we were talking about last week, just at the end of the stream when somebody asked, it might have been Chris actually, who asked, whether the diode laser market is dying, right? I think it's just going to consolidate now. Like, how much better are we going to make a diode laser? Well, we're not. And we're in the same mode with CO2. This already happened, right? Because CO2 lasers are a lot older. They've been around a lot longer, since probably 20 years now. So that consolidation happened a long time ago, but it's going to happen in the diode space. You're probably going to see maybe 4 or 5 really good diode laser companies. Fiber lasers are going to be next. Now they're a bit different because JPT makes all the modules. JPT are coherent, and the barrier is not that high to create a Galvo fiber laser. Take their module, put it in a bit of cabinetry, and you're ready to ship, right? So
Cosmin said all models are $47.99. I told you, Steve. The only way the price changes when you click on that package. It's definitely a glitch. That's why I said I wonder if they'd honor the price if you were to purchase a 200 watt.
Just try and order one.
Half the price, 50% off. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think you can just buy the one thing though, right?
Let me try it.
That thing is from $47.99, but when you pick the laser, you then have to pick some kind of package.
Let me go back and try it again and see what
I still have it up here. Let me see. Yeah, see, it won't let you put it in your cart because you didn't pick enough options. Oh wait, let me pick the power as well.
Oh, you're right. It makes you pick a package. Carl Monker says the product selected option before you add this product. They make you pick a package.
Yeah, so even if you pick the basic bundle there, it's going to be $8,800.
Yeah.
So it contains the Titan machine, the material pack, some goggles, and a coupon for 20% off. Material coupon.
Crazy. Very crazy though. Very crazy.
So yeah, it isn't cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is on sale. $1,200 off right now.
Yeah. Have to click on the package, yeah.
So you see, they got you, man.
Madra said MDF is awful.
It does make dust. I mean, it's made out of dust.
Yeah, it's basically dust with glue, right?
Yeah.
You know what's funny is that I knew there was dust in my shop, but when I got that dust collector, the one that's just in the air, I could not believe how much dust was on that filter. Yeah. Like I was breathing that. like that thing works.
I bought one used from a guy. And it's been sitting on my floor in my shop because it has to go 12 feet up on the ceiling. So I have to.
I'm telling you, Steve, you got to put it up.
I will. I just have to make a plan. I don't. In the summertime, I don't do that much woodworking. It's more wintertime work. So
because
I'm not too worried about it yet.
For the Wen, is that's how you say it? The air filter is like a neon, almost like a fluorescent green. Like it's like a really bright green. And I think it's almost intentional because then when it starts getting dirty, you notice like it's brown. And you replace it and you forget how green it was. Like, man, I probably should replace this a long time ago. But they're pretty cheap, so I shouldn't do that. I should probably just change them quite often.
But yeah, you will get dust off of MDF on a CNC. But MDF, if you got good bits, like if they're good and sharp, you can do some really nice work with MDF because there's no grain in it, right? So it carves really nicely, but it is dusty.
Chris says, "What do you mean we're late? We don't have to go to a naughty corner. We don't give you one of those hats."
I think this whole Wednesday night stream is the naughty corner. It's where my wife sends me every Wednesday night.
That's why we're together. We're already the screwed up. We're the screwed up clan. Why does K40 CO2 laser get such a bad rap?
I think that might be because when they first came out with them, they were mass producing them so fast, so cheap, with such cheap stuff in them, and then there was like zero support.
But
they were like $400 when they came out, right?
Right. But I would say this, David, too. The biggest thing too is that K40 is known as K40. So the problem is that like we keep talking about Reyes, right? Like Reyes fibers, lasers, all these different brands sell them, right? So does the K40. They're all these different brands, but just because it's the inner components, there's external components connected to it, like the motherboard and certain CO2 tubes that some are not even compatible with Lightburn K40s because they have the older motherboard. So I always say like a K40 is a K40, but the only thing I say like is the advantage of buying a Monport K40 is that all the stuff that you do to a K40 as soon as it arrives and you rip off and change, with the exception for the temperature gauges, because you'd want them, if you're in the United States, to be with us in our metrics. It's done for you. You know, the computer's upgraded, everything's upgraded. So it's like a pre-modded K40. But it's still a K40, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess they still sell them, but
you call a spade a spade. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, but K40 is definitely a great entry level laser. But the problem is that have realistic expectations of what you're buying.
The original ones had a pretty small workspace. They were 20 watts at best, and so you got what you paid for.
So the new Monport laser that I have on the way, they're supposed to be sending it after the 20th, so 4 days. It's basically kind of like the replacement K40, and the reason is because what are legitimate complaints about the K40? The bed size is small. That's really like, it's small. So like, if you're gonna make acrylics neon signs, like man, that could be a beast, right? Because they're small and you can mass produce those out. But if you want, it's not like it's not the Thunder laser. Like, don't see these guys on YouTube making these huge, piece of MDF and they're throwing it there and you get this and you're like, what the hell am I gonna make with this? Like, so the new replacement is 55 watts, I think it's 55 or 60 watts, but it's a much bigger space, and it has the autofocus, and it has the bed in the bottom. And the biggest thing, like with that, is when we had the laser chick on our live, her livelihood is tumblers, and she has every laser known to man, and she has basically done all these testing to see what is going to be the best. How she will crank these out and get the best results, and she's always had the best results of the CO2. But you have to have that room in the CO2. So a Monport K40 is probably not going to work. But if you had a bigger bed, but it's that might work. So I'm going to try that, and I think I'm going to try to pair that with a Rotoboss because they've been asking us to do those reviews. So I think I'll pair those two together and see how well they're working with some tumblers.
Yeah, I think that's probably the CO2 laser that Monport wanted me to look at too.
Yeah.
But I no time, and I don't need another CO2 laser right now.
Yeah, I think what I'll do is it'll just replace my K40, and I'll cough up the K40, probably one of the subscribers. Beam Me Up Laser Engraving said, hopefully they make a diode that is more energy efficient. Diodes are like, they hardly use any power at all.
No, they use very little.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and there's physics involved in the output of those. They're generally 6 watts, regardless. So, like per diode, 6 watts raw, so about 5.
Beam Me Up said, "Love the new CNC, Rick. Thank you. I haven't fired it up yet. I would say to make sawdust, but the next 2-3 days, I should have everything I need to be able to do.
It's still in showroom condition. Still smells like a new car.
It still has the cover.
Mine still has that, and it's a 1.5 years old. So
yeah, it still has the color on the screen. Yeah. Bait and switch. I think he's talking about the 200 watt laser there. Yeah, because when you Google it, it comes up way cheaper because it comes up to 100 watt, and then you click on it and it just.
Well, I think the 47 is actually the 60 watt one.
Madre said she's always in the naughty corner. That's what happens when you're hanging out with one of the guys that are smoking in the boys' room. Brett, you want to take this?
Go ahead, it says, but MDF machines so well. That's true. It does machine very well. And you can do some pretty nifty looking stuff with it. Just don't get it wet.
Yeah, it's good if you want to paint it, like spray paint it.
Yeah.
Because it's smooth coming off the CNC, and you just paint it right away. Hey, V's here.
Hey, V.
He's making the
Long
rounds.
time no see. No, long time no see, V. I want to see. She's gonna do her usual. She normally jumps in and out each one of us to show some equal love. Thank you, thank you.
We appreciate it.
Yep. The 30th. So in 2 weeks, guys. Anyone who's in the live, if you didn't see us already, we have a special guest who's actually going to be joining us. So check that out. Check that out. I will. I'll make you look and go to our Facebook page and check it out who it is. But I think you'll be surprised. I'm really excited to hear some of his insights, the products he came out with. Definitely an icon in the CNC industry. I don't think he'll need much of an introduction to anyone from our audience.
Bring your autograph books.
Yeah, we got a heavy hitter coming on.
Rockstar, CNC rockstar.
Yeah, for sure. I was definitely. I talked to him on YouTube all the time. So when I asked him, I thought it was so cool that he almost like instantly replied like, "Yeah, man, I'm down." I was like, "Oh, cool." So yeah, I'm really excited.
So Zentenro says a box fan with a bunch of furnace filters in it works pretty well for dust as well. That's essentially what a dust collector is, right? A dust filter.
And I have actually done that. I've done that before.
Yeah.
When I took my fan apart because I wanted to see what was inside of it, it's a furnace filter. It's a furnace fan.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like a rat cage, right? And
yeah, it's a furnace fan.
And a bunch of filters on both sides of it, and that's it.
Yeah, anyone who's ever replaced a furnace fan, that's exactly what it is. I mean, they're heavy and powerful, but that's exactly what it is.
Right, I agree.
Chris said a K40 is what is this?
Well, I guess it's Meccano. I think autocorrect helped him here. Meccano set of CO2 lasers. I don't know if you know what a Meccano set is. It's like you have all these little metal pieces and you can put them together to make things. It's like there's another one like that.
Yeah, and that's why I said I think that's why it got a bad rep, because K40 got so known as K40. So you didn't most people don't know what's the difference between the different brand K40s, because you could still consider it a K40.
Yeah, it's typical of kind of an early stage of an industry, right? You get something that was designed by engineers for engineers to use. It's like Lightburn used to be. It's getting better, but they evolve and turn into appliances. Like you look at a K40 from 5 years ago versus, I don't know, pick your latest and greatest enclosed laser now, and the difference is incredible from both quality and capability.
Even the interface, like on a K40 from different brands, like the little touch keypad, there's a drastic difference in some of those. Some of those look like, whoa, pretty cheap.
Some of them are pretty bad.
Yeah.
The Rowita controllers are the ones to get.
Yeah.
Which is what I put in my big CO2 laser when I made it.
Chris said, I'm wondering if we will be able to see a laser dedicated to tumblers.
Yes, you can. Who was it? Just was trying to convince me to look at one. Damn, it's going to haunt me now. There is one. And I just talked to them like last week. That's
designated for tumblers?
It might actually be longer that has it. And it's just like, it's more of an upright laser. So there's no Y-axis. There's only an X-axis.
So it's like the Nano.
And a rotary. And it's a diode laser, which is okay for tumblers. So
yeah, Monport Mega Light 70-watt CO2 looks interesting. Yeah, I'll they said they're waiting till the 20th. and I'll have update then. So I'll let you guys know what they end up saying, and I'm excited. I think so, and I'll offer the K40 probably to one of our subscribers. Chris, CO2 gavel will not burn SS.
Yeah.
What's SS?
Stainless steel.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good for those powder coated tumblers, right? You can just hit them as hard as you want, and when it gets through the paint, it's pretty much done at that point. So
Clark said I would avoid the Mega. I have one.
well, there you go. There's an endorsement.
Yeah. I think they said that the first they were supposed to send it to me this early on. I think Clack and like 5 or 6 different people got it. And they told me that all those got sent back to them, or most of them got sent back to them because there were so many issues. And I think because they were trying to get influencers to promote it right away, but I don't think they were done with all the development yet. So I think they have like beta lasers.
Maybe alpha.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is so, this is the getting back to the YouTubers get free stuff thing. You get a lot of things that you need to test is what you
Yes.
get. I spent last week doing nothing but looking at a laser to the point where I sent a message and said, I'm not going to review this. And they did a few things and it got sorted out. So
yeah, but I guess at the end of the day, like by being an influencer, you are a beta tester. So like you're supposed to give feedback.
But I would prefer to be an early adopter, not a beta tester, right?
Well,
it implies that there's problems, and they know there's problems. They just want to see if I can find them.
It depends to what you're agreeing to. Are you agreeing to reviewing a finished product, or you're agreeing to be a beta tester? There's a big difference,
right? But
if it's a finished product, it should be working.
If you're telling me, hey, we've got a new product and we're getting ready to sell it, it better not be a beta.
Right, I agree. Yeah. Kimberly said, "Good evening, Rick and everyone. I found you through Bearded Vikings live stream a couple of days ago. Nice one. New to the laser industry, just ordered an X-Tool F1 Ultra. It's my first laser ever. I do remember you from the comments, Kimberly. Thank you for joining the live. If you ever have any questions, feel free to let us know. Also, if you're not already a member, I would suggest you join our Facebook group. We do have a large community of people who will be able to assist you as well as us with any questions you may have. But thank you for joining the live. Appreciate it.
The F2 Ultra, Kimberly, you don't say if this is your first laser or not, do you? The F2 Ultra is a pretty heavy duty laser to start with, but it's a nice laser. You'll like it. I'm pretty sure.
Go big or go home, right?
Yeah. Well, if you want to do a lot of cutting, it's not really a cutting laser, even though it's got the power to do a lot of cutting. But if you do volume, like if you make, every time I make a handful of business cards, I pull out the conveyor and I'll make business cards on that because you can just pile them on.
I lost my, yeah. So Kimberly, thank you for joining live. I was jumped into Bearded Vikings live. Matter of fact, he said that he may join us coming soon just for a guest spot.
Cool.
If we didn't mind. So yeah, he was excited. He just hit 200,000 subscribers. So he was excited and wanted to join us to celebrate that. So I thought that was awesome.
That's a good deal.
How about the Monport Reno? That is a 70 watt, right? The Reno, I think that's what it's called, right? Yeah. Clack said the Frankenstein, I got it in decent results, but it was an operational. Reno seems okay. Chris, I'm getting into impressions. A lot of companies now are using Kickstarters as a marketing tool. I was surprised when I started seeing like X-Tool and big brands, not new names.
Yeah.
And now I almost think like it's becoming the norm, like you're saying, Chris. Weird.
Yeah, there's some companies that don't do it though. Commarker doesn't use Kickstarter. But yeah, it's shocking, right? That a company the size of X-Tool does a Kickstarter project.
Yeah.
it's, I mean, I get it, but a part of it is they use it for is to judge interest too, right? So, like, if you get a big over pledge on your Kickstarter project, you're pretty sure the thing's going to be successful.
Kimberly said I do some woodworking, some crafting, and looking to get into some metal engraving.
Yeah, well, an F2 Ultra will do that for you.
For sure.
I do want to do a couple more videos on the F2. One of them I want to do is deep engraving on stainless steel. It can do that.
So how Lightburn has the material test, does the X Tools app have that same type of test?
It does, but I kind of ripped Xtool about it because it's not nearly as nice as the way Lightburn does it.
So if you were to just open Lightburn, run your tests, and then input those in the Xtool software, because it has some supported things that Lightburn doesn't, I know it's jumping through hoops, but that might be the best way.
I don't think you can export the test grid. Usually,
no,
when you
you'd have your print, your test piece to use as your grid.
Yeah, it would be nice if you could export the G code for the material test out of Lightburn, but I don't think you can do that.
You can save it. I've done that.
You can save the settings, but you can't save the G code, I don't think.
Yeah. No, but what I mean is, like, if you took a piece of material and ran the material test, you'll still have the material test used as a reference point.
Yeah, no. But what I disliked was, so first of all, on XCS, you pick the thing you want. So in Lightburn, you just say, I want to engrave or cut a bunch of squares.
Right.
In XCS, you create a shape, and that's the thing you use. So you could do a test with a bunch of stars or whatever. It doesn't matter. But you set the range of the two variables and then all of your fixed variables on the settings. You go out to the workspace, it creates the drawing and puts it on your workspace. But then if you say, oh, I want to change something, you go back there, you have to start over again. And that's the thing that drives me completely nuts. And I kind of ripped them a bit and said, like, you got to make this more like the way Lightburn does it, where I can save the settings, and then if I go modify them later, it's not the end of the world. I'm not starting
from scratch. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll see what they do. They're definitely doing lots of active work on XCS.
So for those who may or may not know, the Bearded Viking was actually on the very first episode of Shop Talk Live. So he's in the trades building houses. So this time of year, as Roger and I are both in the trades, we understand that, like, we got to make all the money we can because we need that nest egg for the winter time.
Because you want to go to Mexico in the winter.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess you're maybe not going there this year, but
yeah. So especially because he builds houses, so we understand. He's still a friend, and again, like I said, we were just talking on the live, so he'll be. I'm not saying he'd be permanent co-host again, at least this time of year, but he's definitely interested in or mentioned joining a live as a guest speaker.
Yeah, he should do a guest, be a guest star for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I do give him a hard time though, because he makes great boxes, but I'm going to tell you that Skylar, she definitely gives him a run for his money. She, I would say that if I was to judge them, to put them against each other, I would say that Daniel is a hell of a carpenter, and I would say that Skylar has a very creative imagination the way she creates things.
Yeah. So, yeah, she's definitely bordering on artist level work.
Yes, right. So I think that's the difference. Not knocking either one of them. They both have a different skill set, but she is she's very artsy. Kimberly said, I watch your videos on the F2. I'm assuming she's talking to you,
thanks.
Steve.
Yep.
Chris, LB will be adding user input for shape images for material tests.
Yeah, it's coming.
But it's low priority on the list.
Yeah. I don't think the shape thing is really all that valuable. It's just that's how XCS chose to do it. That is fine. What bothers me is the fact that if I go back to the material test setup, I gotta essentially start all over again.
V said Skylar is freaking awesome. So Skylar, if you're watching, and she's still very active on our Facebook group. So I know last week someone said, "Oh man, she's not on a live," and they had some inlay questions. Steve does inlays as well, but
yeah, although I do it the lazy way now, I just get V Carve to do it for me. You push a couple of buttons and you don't have to worry about math.
But someone did have a question for her. She wasn't on a live, but she's very active on our Facebook group. So
I hope she does some guest appearances too. Still, so.
Yeah. So Kimberly, if you actually go to our Facebook group, her picture is all at the top banner, and it's still. I actually have removed it on the bottom of the ticker that's scrolling. Her Facebook page, actually, I just noticed, is still on there. So if you want to check her out.
Yeah, her channel's pretty good. She does a lot of she does a lot of problem solving for things to learn techniques. Yeah, Sawdust and Splinters is her channel.
Yeah. So she had kind of told me that some of these conversations she had, she was a little intimidated by the laser talk and some of the technical jargon that people ask us questions. I just kept trying to remind her that there's things that we all bring to the table. So she still has a very unique skill set for sure.
Yeah.
Chris said Skylar equals artist equals master carpenter. Yeah.
That's probably a good summary. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I said when you're putting them two, if you were to put them two head to head, yeah. Bearded Vike is definitely a master carpenter, and Skylar, I'd say, definitely is an artist. Kimberly said, just subscribed her. Thank you guys. Yeah, check her out. She's definitely cool. She's
she does some good stuff.
I think what's funny is that a lot of these people think that YouTubers were like in competition with each other. The fact that we coexist in these type of lives, they're surprised. And I think that YouTube is cliquey, and there are some influencers who are that way, but I don't think you'll find that about any of the three of us.
No, I have not in competition with anybody.
I don't have time to be snobby.
The only competition I'm with is with myself, right? Because I always want to improve.
Yeah. My big competition is to see how I can learn something so I don't have to throw so much material out.
Yeah.
Kimberly said, I'm lost in the technical terms with the laser too. I'm ready to learn and grow. Awesome.
Yeah, well, it'll all come.
Feel free to ask anything on this channel, on this stream.
Yeah. And that's the whole idea of the live. You can literally ask anything. We don't have any topic. This isn't a scripted video. Someone's talking about CNCs and you ask lasers, don't think you're throwing us off topic. It's a live question and answers. We have no idea what we're going to talk about when we go into this. We might bring some stuff up, but you guys really drive the live.
Yeah. Sometimes we talk about business. Sometimes we talk about YouTube. It's a bit of everything. Marketing,
graphic design. I mean, all different aspects of the business. Look, the beginning of the live, we were talking about price thresholds, right? And really choosing your customer base. So that has nothing to do with it. It actually can do with all of this, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't necessarily
stuff
about one
that applies to almost every business too, not just maker businesses.
Yeah. But it looks like we hit time, guys. It's actually looks like 8 after, so it's 8:38. I want to thank everyone and appreciate them for joining the live. Time flew by today. Roger's wife, I hope you don't mind me mentioning this, Rogers, have an operation coming up soon.
Yeah, Monday.
So I would hope.
If everything goes smoothly, I'll be here next Wednesday, and I absolutely hope it does. If not, I may be absent for a week.
So I ask of you all to take a moment of your time to say a prayer for his wife, for a speedy recovery, and for the doctor's hands to be guided.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Real quick, we'll just have 2 comments left. We'll jump in then, and we can do a closeout. Marjorie said, I'm ready to learn new designs in layer projects. So
layered projects are fun.
I think as I start actually making some sawdust, I'll maybe have more questions for Steve to answer. And we can bring those up on the live as well.
Yeah, and I'm waiting for those.
And we also have done a couple lives where we've showed our fails, and the reason is in the lasers because that on YouTube sometimes we're polished, right? Because you're showing these finished products, and we say that every product that we make or everything we make is not an immediate success. We, just like everyone else, bump our head against the wall sometimes. And Steve made a comment one time that during the video he was showing a finished product and there was like 60 ones that didn't work out on the floor. Right?
Yeah,
So like,
yeah.
so,
If you want to find out how to make lots of firewood, start making chess pieces on your CNC.
yeah.
You'll
So
make a lot of bad ones before you make one, and you go, "Wow, it's a pawn! It's awesome."
Yeah, so I'm sure that I will have a lot of those type of creations with my
Yeah, I look
CNC.
forward to it.
Roger, the comments on your wife that they're praying for your wife are just
I
flooding me.
appreciate it, everybody.
Yeah.
All right.
So, do you guys want to say anything on a closeout real quick?
Good luck with you and your wife, Roger, and
No, thank you.
safe everything for everyone, because there's been all kinds of floods and things lately. It's just crazy. So take care of yourselves.
All right, thanks everyone.
See everybody on the next one.
Yep. Bye.
Ciao, guys.